Well, people, this is the deal. Now, you know from a couple weeks ago, you know how to chameleon the crap out of them, don't you? I hope you know. I hope you know how to do that. This is different. This week, we are talking about threads, ropes, and chains. That's what we're talking about here. Threads, ropes, and chains. Now, what you're saying to yourself, threads, ropes, and chains, right? Very bizarre. Why would I come up with bizarre things to teach you? So there is a scheme here. There's a plan. There's a method to my madness. This is the deal. When that person comes in, I want you to imagine that they are as fragile as a thin piece of fine silk thread. Not that this is a fine silk thread, but a fine silk thread, which means what? They could easily break. Their demeanor, their attitude in front of the camera, you can break it like that. So you have to handle them with kid gloves. They come in as a thread, you handle them with kid gloves. Very easy, very simple. You're very direct with them. You take it slow. You just get them. What you are trying to do is gain confidence. So as I photograph them and I discuss with them all the theory and the technique and I give them the jawline and all that stuff, they're gonna gain confidence. What's gonna happen? That little thread is gonna start to become a string. And then that little string is gonna be stronger. And guess what's gonna happen? I'm gonna be able to give them more juice. I'm gonna be able to hit them harder. I'm gonna be able to smack them around a little bit. So I'm directing and I'm gaining their confidence. I'm getting good shots. As I get good shots, guess what happens? They went from a thread to a string. And eventually I'm gonna continue to teach them about my jawline, and I'm gonna tether, so I'm gonna show them amazing shots. And this little string is gonna eventually turn into something stronger, which will turn into a little tiny rope. We'll have a little rope. The string became a little rope. I love that. And then when they're a little rope, I can give them a little bit more. I can beat them over the head a little bit. But I don't want to break this rope. I need a stronger rope to really beat them over the head. If I'm going to start using what I call Hurleyisms, which you're going to start getting, they're going to have to be a bigger rope. I'm going to need a massive rope. So I'm going to need something more along the lines of this. It's going to have to become this kind of rope for me to really start to go hammer time. And then once they're this kind of rope, this kind of rope, how am I going to break this? I'm not going. I could say anything to them, right? Not quite. I can't say anything. I can say most everything, but not quite everything. I can still break this rope with some of the stuff that I say. I want to be, they might be a really long rope. Might be incredibly long. It might take me a while just to get them to understand that this rope is, long and cumbersome. And I need them to be a little bit more, I need them to get beyond the rope. The rope has to turn into something else. So eventually the rope is gonna have to turn into something else because it's long and it's cumbersome, and I want it to turn into a chain. And once they are a chain, then, and only then, can I pull out the big guns. Because this ain't gonna break. And then you can say anything you want to that person in order to get the image that you want. It is my curveball to say anything to anybody at any moment to stir a reaction out of them. I say things when people are chains. Do you think I say them when they're a thread? No. I'll give you an example. One of my favorites, we'll start with this, to say when people are a chain, and I'll do it in groups. This works for groups too. I've done it for groups. I tell all the men in the group to slightly flex their ball sack. Now, do you think I'm gonna say that when somebody's a thread? I don't think so, because it's gonna cut the thread and I'm gonna lose. They're gonna be like, I'm paying for this guy to tell me to flex my ball sack. You are paying me to tell you because it's funny. I get laughter usually, And I will say that when they are chain. I won't even say that when they're a rope. I wait till they're a chain. But in a group environment, you don't know if everybody's chains, but you just want to elicit that. But one-on-one, in a one-on-one situation, you can't say that kind of stuff unless they are a chain. Do you understand? So I'm going to teach you what I consider my Hurleyisms and my misdirection and all that stuff. And that is outlandish things that I say. Only say it when you got them up to a chain. And that's what we're talking about this week. Real quick, I'm going to give you a couple of these. I want you to say to yourself, is that a thread or is that a chain? I'm going to say something, chain or thread. You ready? Get your jawline out. Chain or thread? Pretty easy, right? Here's another one. Give me a look like you just formulated an evil plan. What would that be? Is that thread? I don't think so. Is that chain? Probably not. It's probably in the rope domain. You got to think of these things, right? How about I've got a woman in front of my camera and I say to her, I need you to give me a look that's a touch sluttier than the one you just did. You think that would break the thread? The thread broke. Do you think I would say that if she wasn't a chain? No way, Jose. You got me? And then after I say that, after I shoot that, then I say, no, I said a touch sluttier. You went complete slut on me. That's only if I say it as a chain, right? There's some women cringing out there. I'm like, hey, it's a chain. If you're cringing, you were not a chain, and I wouldn't have said it to you anyway. You feel it. You have to know it's the way it's done. So thread, string, small rope, big rope, chain, 5. You got 5 moves to make. It's a constant build. You'll feel their confidence building. You'll know the moment that they're a chain, and that's when you smack them with everything you got. Don't hold back. Don't be afraid. In the beginning, you take it. You're also getting your feet wet and getting your bearings with them in the beginning of a session. You're an hour in and they're a chain, you got to let it rip. That's your little tidbit of information. I want you to start to formulate things that you could say that are in chain mode, and formulate things that you say that are in thread mode, and everywhere in between. Get it going, guys. Thread, ropes, and chains. We want all our people to be chains at some point. Because if you create a chain, guess what? For the rest of their life, they're going to be good in front of cameras, and they're going to be a chain a lot more quickly. Piece of cake, guys. Have fun, enjoy. See you next week. Guys, if you like this video, you're absolutely going to love what I have going on over at the Headshot Crew. It's an absolute smorgasbord of material just like this that I've been working on for the last 10 years. So click the link below, check it out, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I got stuff coming out just for you.